Hi, this is Denise Matthew, and welcome to another part of HT 101, How to Read Your Human Design Chart. I just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to slow down the speed of my voice, it's an easy thing to do. Just do it on the playback speed as I'm showing here, and it will be an experience tailor-made for you.
So when we talk about the spleen, we're really talking about a center that's considered very primal, and it is all about survival and the now. So anything that happens in the spleen is about in that moment. It is a type of intuition that we get, but it's an intuition that comes with some level of fear because again, it is something that is more primal, more survival based. The other thing that it talks about is our health. And it talks about if we're well, if something's happening with our body, something that's happening that's making us not feel well. The other thing that it does is that it keeps us on time. This energy is all about being on time. When the spleen is defined, it's about being on time and being where you need to be at the right time. When it's undefined, there could be problems with time, not being able to be on time, not really having the concept of how long things take. So a lot of times when somebody has an open or undefined spleen, then they may not really understand the concept of how long things take to actually happen. So for instance, if you wanted to run an errand, you might think it's going to take 10 minutes, but in reality it's more like an hour. But for you in your mind, it could be like, yes, it's only about 10 minutes. So the thing about the energy of the spleen is really the gates that are defined are the ones that are going to be important. They're the ones that are going to tell you where your fears are, and it will also help you detect, based on if it's defined or undefined, will help you detect about your intuition as well as the fears that you have that are deep inside of you. So let's talk a little bit more about the differences between the defined and the undefined. So when you have a defined spleen, you have a more fixed way of understanding your intuition, a more fixed way of understanding your health, and a more fixed way of understanding time. So generally when you have a defined spleen, you can be on time. You don't have as much of a disconnect with how long things take, or there's not this need to be too early or too late. Receiving your intuition or your information about your intuition or the energy of, like I said, the intuition of the spleen in a more predictable way, so that you know more about how your intuition works. Most people could say that they have a specific way of intuiting, and it's related to the gates that are defined on the spleen. The other thing is your health awareness. Sometimes you can actually be aware of your health, but because the spleen can be sort of ignored, you can sometimes go beyond your health and issues because you're not going to be usually impacted as much by those signs that your health might be off as somebody with an open spleen. Now, when we talk about somebody with an open spleen, we have this concept that somebody could be holding on to things longer. They could hold on to fears longer. The fears could even be bigger because everything about any open center is all about the energy coming in and being amplified. So if there's fears within the spleen, which there will be because there's always going to be some level of fear in the spleen, although some people have no gates defined in the spleen, and so that you could say that they were fearless, or you could also say they have fear about everything. You could also say somebody who has a completely open spleen without any gates on it, sometimes they can have extremely good health and not get sick very often, but sometimes they can be sick almost all the time. Somebody with an undefined spleen could be what's considered a medical intuitive. So what they can do is they can read the health of other people. They can almost read the health of other people more than themselves. So in other words, you could be out shopping and with an open spleen and then come home and then start feeling a little bit sick, but it could be the energy that you sort of absorb, this whole energy of all the open centers are absorbing energy, and it's something that they have for a little while and it goes away. So you might have this feeling that you're getting sick or something's wrong with your body, but then maybe when you release the energy by laying down or something like that, you'll start to feel better. So there is a lot of intuition and a lot of sensibility about something that doesn't feel good in the body. And the thing about somebody with an open spleen is that they might feel very comfortable in the aura of somebody with a defined spleen, because there is some level of comfort that comes with being in the defined spleen. So because of that, somebody with an open spleen may stay in a relationship that's a little bit longer than it should be, as in it's not a healthy relationship for them, but they may stay in that unhealthy relationship because they feel that comfort from somebody with a defined spleen. So sometimes it's hard to sort of come out of that relationship because there's that issue with coming away from that feel of comfort that they get from somebody with a defined spleen. And the energy of the spleen and the intuition of the spleen usually comes in a quick little blip, and it's fast and it's in the now. Fears that come into the spleen, I'll talk about the fears in just a minute, exactly what they are. But the fears of the spleen are all about fears that can actually be pushed through. So there's these fears that we have in our body graph or who we are of certain things. But when it comes to the splenic fears are the only place where you can just push through those fears, and every time you do, it gets a little easier and little easier. So it's one of those things that the more you work on these splenic fears, the better you feel in the long run, and you can actually overcome these fears. So it's a good thing to try and work through the fears if you can. And again, it's all about just pushing through it, and every time you do, it gets a little easier. And I do have one whole video talking about all the fears of the spleen called the Fear Gates. And if you want to check that out, I'll leave the link below if you want more information. So let's do a brief discussion of the Spleen Gates and what kind of fears they bring. So the gate 50 is all about responsibility, and the energy about this, the fear is that you're going to somehow let down your family or somebody who you love by doing something wrong when you have the gate 50. There can be some level of codependence in this energy, and the way to push through this energy is to know that people have responsibility for themselves, and when they get older, and you just have to let people do what they have to do, and hope for the best, because eventually everybody has to have their own level of responsibility. The gate 44 is all about patterns repeating themselves, so it's all about the past. So there could be a fear of the past repeating itself. It could be all about patterns in life and how the patterns in life continue to repeat over and over again. So a bad relationship could lead to a bad relationship, but opening up to a new way of being and new opportunities and new patterns coming into your life can help you push through the fear in this gate. As well, the gate 44 is all about connection to sales. So the thing about this energy is you might be really good at presenting things or making things beautiful so that they can be sold. So you could be somebody who does like they do the things where they do up the houses before they sell them, or interior design, or a lot of things where you're actually making things beautiful for sale, and then the gate 26 connects to it, and that's where the sale energy comes in. There could be a real strong sense of smell with this energy as well. That's something that's very common. The gate 57 is all about the fear of the future, and fear that the future will bring things that you don't want to happen. Again, this is all about pushing through that energy and understanding that the fears that you have about the future may not necessarily be true, because in fact, we don't always know exactly what's coming to us in the future. Although there is a tremendous amount of intuition in this energy, and there is an ability to have some level of psychic energy to actually predict the future. The other concept is that usually somebody with the gate 57 can hear a lie in somebody's voice. The gate 48 is all about logic and patterns. It is about getting to the depth of things. There is some level of inadequacy with this energy because you don't always feel that you have all the information that you need. You don't feel that you have enough of anything to support yourself when you need to get information. The question is, do you have all the information you need? The thing about this energy is that to know that you do have the energy of knowing what you need to have in the time you need it. The thing about the energy of the 48 is that it comes in when you don't think you have the energy, or you don't think you have the information. 9 out of 10 times, because you have this energy already and you like to get to the depth of things, and you like to make sure you know all the boxes are checked and everything is researched and checked out, you will probably know it. It will just come at that time when you need it. And if you just rest in the idea that you will have the answers when you need it, then you can push through the energy of not knowing enough, or feeling inadequate, or feeling like you're not ready to take the next step in your life. The gate 18 is all about perfection, and it is all about trying to be perfect and trying to get that perfect image. It could be of your body, it could be of your relationship, it could be of pretty much anything, a career. There is no level of real perfection in the world, because we are we are beautifully imperfect, and that's kind of who we are as humanity. When we understand that our imperfections are just a part of who we are and they don't define who we are, we can also look at the whole concept of the wabi-sabi, or the imperfection is perfect in our world, because again, it is showing that we can be imperfect, but we can still survive. And knowing that is something that you can push through, and understand that you can do as many treatments, beauty treatments, or you can, be as fit as you can be in the gym or whatever. But ultimately, there is no level of perfection that we can ever achieve. And when you see that, you'll see that it doesn't matter. Perfection no longer matters. What matters is that you're yourself, and you embody who you are, and you can embrace those parts of you that you may feel are imperfect, and know that they're part of you. And by being part of you, they're exactly the way they're meant to be. The gate 28 is all about the search for the meaning of life. There could be a lot of struggle in this energy, and this feeling that life has no meaning, and we're just kind of walking around, and we do our thing, and then eventually we die. But if you look at the concept of, and the fear could be here with the fear of death. The concept here is that if you look at your life and understand that each moment that we're out there doing our thing, we are actually learning something. We are bringing something new to the table. There is always going to be some speck of understanding in what life means. Every once in a while, anybody with this energy will get that. And when you can string all those specs together, and you'll have like a string of gems, so that you'll have some concept of the meaning of your life, and know that nothing is in vain, and we all have purpose in this incarnation. The other concept with the gate 28 is all about this idea that as soon as someone tells you can't do something, you want to do it all the more. And there's this way of pulling into your life the opportunities, or the things that are going to be the hardest to do. And because of that, it's almost like you want to struggle with them. But when you realize the struggle isn't necessary, and that you can do those difficult tasks, but do the difficult tasks that matter to you, and leave the rest behind, so that life is not a permanent struggle. The gate 32 is all about endurance, and it is all about being ambitious in life, and trying to it does really work into this concept of abundance and resources and making money. There's a lot of business energy in this, and it is about being good enough at your job, and having all the things you want, and getting all those high dreams and ambitions, and being able to reach those goals. And sometimes there's this fear that you will never reach your goals. You'll never really get ahead. You'll never really go to the places where you want to go. And understanding that every day you're stepping one foot in front of the other, you're doing the best you can, you're trying, and every time you try, you're going to get one step ahead and move forward into the place you want to go, the goals, the dreams, the ambition, the place that you want to eventually end up in going. And the whole concept with this is not to get lost in the concept of just always trying to be ahead, because this energy can easily turn into something more of a greedy energy, where you just basically don't care who you have to step over. All that matters is the end product, and that you get your end product. But always keeping in mind that ambition is wonderful, and it can get us ahead in life, and it can make us see dreams that we never thought possible. But that ambition that comes where we have somebody at the end of it, some people who are cheering us along to the finish line, because this is tribal energy. And so it means that it is all about the tribe. So when we have this integrity in this ambition, and we take the right route, the right path, and we don't have to cut corners and cut in front of people just to get what we want, we'll have our goals met. But we'll also have that feeling that we did it just the way we needed to do it, and we did it in the right way. And that completes the spleen. So